Hello, Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. For today's video, it's going to be my very late January wrap-up, as well as not a TBR. I'm not going to do February TBR this time since we're already almost in the middle of the month. I'm just going to do a current reads and show you what books and / manga I'm reading right now. So I'm going to do the manga first because January was like manga month for me. So I'm gonna do the manga first, and if you guys aren't that interested in that part, then you can fast forward it to all of the novels / current reads right now. So in the month of January, I read about 22 volumes of manga, not including anything that I read online because I read a lot of stuff online. I don't tend to include that in any of my reading things that I keep track of, like when I read something online, I don't go to Goodreads and track that I've read it. I don't know why. I do it when I read actual physical manga. It's just something I don't know. So not the first manga that I read in January, but definitely the one that I read the most of was I read volumes 1 through 14 of One Piece, and I did do an arc discussion about the first arc in the series, which is called East Blue, and I will leave a link to that discussion down below if you're interested in the series. That's only 2 volumes, 11, and then 13 through 14 starts the second arc, which I'm in the middle of right now, and that is the Baroque arc. Overall, most of them are 4 out of 5 stars. I gave some of them 5 out of 5 stars, a couple of them 3 out of 5 stars, but for like the majority so far, it's about 4 out of 5 stars for the entire series. Absolutely loving this series. It is about pirates, and there's all kinds of awesome battle scenes and cool, funny characters, and if you're really into manga and are looking for a really awesome shonen with a lot of action, then I highly suggest this one. This series is by Eiichiro Oda, by the way, if I didn't mention that before, which I don't think I did. Reading that series really got me in a nostalgic mood to read another series that I used to read that's kind of similar to it, except that One Piece is older than this one, so that one came first, but I didn't read that one before. I read this one, and that is Fairy Tail by Hiro Mashima, and I reread volumes 1 and 2. I actually don't know how many volumes I've originally read because I read this series completely online before. I'm really enjoying rereading this. I forgot how hilarious these characters are. Main character Natsu here is like he's so funny. I highly recommend this if you're into the same type of things as One Piece, Naruto, and stuff like that. Bleach. It's totally different storylines, but they all are kind of like action-y shonen that have a lot of battle scenes in it. Very similar in that aspect, but one of the higher rated ones that I prefer. I believe I stated in one of my previous videos that I was finishing up this series, and that is Parasite by Hitoshi Iwaki, and I read volumes 5 and 6 and kind of paused because there's only 2 volumes left, and then I'm done with the series, and I was really not wanting to finish it. So I love this series, and I love the anime, and I love where the series is going at the moment. The end of this volume was really good. Gave both of these 5 out of 5 stars, and they were awesome! I really want to finish the last 2 volumes, but I think I'm going to wait like maybe a month or 2 before I finish it up. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. I'm like itching to know what happens, but at the same time, I just don't want it to end. And then the final 4 manga volumes that I read are all from the same series, and that is Nisekoi by Naoshi Komi. I read volumes 4, 5, 6, and 7. This was the manga choice for the BookTube Manga Club. I will leave a link to the club down below if you're interested in joining. These are all that's out in publication at the moment, and volume 7 was my absolute favorite out of, maybe not out of all of them, but out of the ones that I read this month. Shonen romance comedy, and I am loving this series and loving where it's going. And I have my pairing already, so I'm happy with my pairing, and I'm pretty positive they're going to get together. I'm not gonna lie, I'll be a little bit upset if he ends up with somebody else, but in the hints that the author is giving, I think it's gonna go in that direction. But being a manga, is probably going to be a very, very long series, and I'm probably going to start reading it online because online is a lot further than where the publication is out right now. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I gave this volume 5 out of 5 stars. I think I gave the rest of these 4 out of 5 stars. No, I think I gave volume 6 5 out of 5 stars as well. So that was the manga portion of the wrap up. From this point on, the rest of the things I read were novels, which I only read 2 novels in the month of January. Yeah, I've kind of, as you can tell, been on a manga binge right now. So the first one that I didn't start in January, I started in December, but I finished it in January, and that was The Exiled Queen by Cinda Williams Chima. This is book 2 in the Seven Realms series, and I am loving this series. 5 out of 5 stars. It is a YA fantasy. It's been out for a little while. There's 4 books in this series, and I've had an eye on it for a long time now, but only until recently did I decide to go ahead and pick it up. And it's funny because as soon as I picked it up, like, a lot of other booktubers started picking it up, and I was like, I think I made a good choice there. So very good YA fantasy. I know fantasy is like a big thing in the YA community right now. One year it was like everybody was reading dystopian, and the next year it was contemporary, and I think right now the big thing at the moment is fantasy for a lot of booktubers. So if you're one of those people and that's what you're binging right now, read the series. Yes, please do. And then the last thing that I finished in January was The First Lord's Fury by Jim Butcher. This is the 6th and final book in the Codex Alara, and I did a series discussion on the Codex Alara series. I will leave a link down below if you would like to check it out. In it, I stumble on my words a lot, and there's a lot of really bad cut editing. I'm very bad at editing, I'm sorry. But if you're interested in hearing what this series is about, I will leave that link down below. I gave this whole series overall a 5 out of 5. This particular book I gave a 4 out of 5 stars because it wasn't as good as some of the other ones, but it definitely is still good because it gives conclusion to the story. I liked the way it ended. It had a very solid ending. There's a nice long epilogue at the end, and you get to see some of the characters a few years later and where they're at the moment, and there's nothing left untold or unsaid, and it just has a nice clean wrap up. So I really enjoyed that, and I highly recommend it. It is an epic fantasy series, kind of Roman-esque military realism, so yeah, if you like that, check it out. So like I said, I am not going to do a TBR. There's really no point in me doing a TBR. The manga that I'm in the middle of, obviously, is One Piece. I have volume 17 and 18 out here. I'm in the middle of 17 right now, and I just have this out because I'm pretty sure I'm going to read volume 18 and probably read even more. I just decided to pull these 2 out. Another manga series I'm in the middle of reading is one that I don't own, but I do want to discuss with you guys here because it is this month's choice for the BookTube Manga Club. It is February, and I decided that a romantic comedy should probably be our choice for the month, so we did a poll, and for this one we are doing Kaicho wa Maid-sama. Remember the mangaka, but I will put it right here when I look up the person's name. It is something that has been published in English. In English, I think it's just called Maid-sama, and it was published by Tokyopop and is out of publication right now, so it's really hard to get a hold of, and that's why I don't have a physical copy of it, so I'm just reading them online. I've read the first 2 volumes so far, and I'm really, really enjoying it. Very cutesy, romantic comedy with a very strong-willed main female character, and that's one of my favorite character traits in women in books of any kind. So as far as novels go, I of course am reading book 3 of the Seven Realms series by Cinda Williams Chima, which is the Grey Wolf Throne, and I am just starting it, not too far into it because this is part of my workbook club and I don't want to go too far because we haven't actually set a date that we're going to be discussing the book. So I'm supposed to be reading to chapter 12, so I have a lot more reading to do because I'm only like 4 chapters in. And then the other book that I'm reading is one that I think I've mentioned to you guys before that I'm reading, and that is The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. This is book 2 in the Mistborn trilogy, and I am about almost halfway through the book right now. Really enjoying it. I have to admit the beginning was kind of boring, so that's why it's taken me so long to read this, because I actually started it with a week left of January and we're already in the middle of February and I'm only this far. Like seriously, I had already been reading this, so I was already like here when I started it in January. I don't know what it is, but it's picking up and this is all I want to read right now, so I am pretty positive I'm going to finish this. What are you doing? No!
I'd be so bad. Now I'm in the door and you're doing your videos. I was like,
The video's still on. Get back in that room! But not before you get me some more coffee. As I was saying, I am pretty positive that I will finish this month and probably start the last book, The Hero of Ages. So yes, we have that. So I'm not making any plans to read any more, but I do want to read more. We'll see. Don't know when I'll get to it, but I do have another manga haul to film. As you can see behind me, these are all new. The only reason I haven't filmed it yet is because I'm waiting for one more box. Also, I'll probably be doing a manga shelf tour as well. As you can see, I have added another shelf in my house. So I've got these 2 shelves here and then another one over there for novels, and then manga shelf here and 2 more here behind the camera that you can't see. So I figured I would do some kind of shelf tour. Perhaps I'll do manga first and then do my other shelves, or maybe I'll do my other shelves and then my manga second. I don't know yet. What do you guys want to see? Let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you guys later. Bye!